Hello, and welcome once again to Everyday Wisdom for Embracing. I'm Martin Stolohi, and today we are diving into something many of us struggle with, and that is the habit of dwelling, not in places of peace, but in memories that won't let us move. Our theme today is don't dwell there. Not every mental address deserves to be your emotional home. And that is important for us to think about. Dwelling is different from remembering. Remembering is healthy. It's how we learn. But dwelling is when we set up camp emotionally in a place that no longer serves our present or our future. You dwell when you relay and replay painful conversation on loop. You dwell when you keep measuring today's relationships by yesterday's betrayals. You dwell when you allow a past mistake to rewrite your sense of identity. And here is the danger. Where you dwell, you begin to build. You start constructing emotional frameworks around fear. You make decisions shaped by what was and not what could be. You let an old season set the tone for your new one. In Philippians chapter 3, the Apostle Paul says, forgetting what is behind and straining towards what is ahead, I press towards the goal, he said. Now, this is coming from someone with both a painful past and an impressive pedigree. Paul had regrets. He once persecuted the very faith he preached. But he also had achievements. He was a rising star in religious circles. Yet he says, I forget all of it so I can press forward. Why? Because he understood a principle that we need to reclaim today. The future can't speak loudly when the past is still narrating your identity. So, let me tell you a story that illustrates this beautifully. In 2021, at the Tokyo Olympics, and it was the world watching, the renowned world gymnast Simone Biles shocked the world by stepping back mid-competition. She didn't let her past glory dictate her present decision. Instead of dwelling on expectations or titles, she listened to her now. She prioritized mental health, clarity, and long-term purpose. It was controversial at that time, but it was wise. And guess what? She came back stronger. She redefined what it means to be a champion, not just by medals, but by mastery over pressure. Simone didn't dwell in what will people think. She made room for what she needed to become. And maybe today, that's your invitation too. Let me ask you, where have you mentally pitched a tent that needs to be packed up right now as we speak? That heartbreak that happened 5 years ago, that job you lost during the last restructure, that opportunity you missed because of fear. You've been living there in your thoughts, in your emotions, but the lease expired long ago, and you've got to recognize that. And every day you rehearse it, you water the seeds you were meant to uproot. Today, let's consider the key wisdom. Where you dwell determines what you develop. If you dwell in regret, you develop shame. If you dwell in resentment, you develop bitterness. But if you dwell in possibility, you develop resilience, creativity, and peace. So, what's the alternative? You may be asking. You move, not physically though, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally. You relocate your attention from what happened to what can happen. You give yourself permission to grow forward. Even if others haven't given you the closure you are asking for, you stop telling the same story with the same ending, because the truth is you are the narrator now and you can revise the script. You've got the agency to do that. Take a moment to journal today and just reflect silently. And first thing you need to think about is, what thought pattern or memory have I been dwelling on for too long? What's the mental dwelling costing me in this season? That dwelling. What new address could I move to in my thinking? One that nurtures my growth. So today, I choose not to dwell in what's behind me. I am not defined by past pains and performance. I press forward. Clarity, purpose, and peace is my destiny. I release the past as my reference point and embrace the future as my canvas. I am moving forward now and amen. So, thank you again for joining me for Everyday Wisdom for Embracing the New. If this message helps you, will you take a moment to like it, to share it, and subscribe on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you are listening to this on? This is your friend Martins calling you to raise your standards in your core relationships, in your career, and in your calling. Till I come your way, keep raising the bar of performance you can, because you are. Bye for now, and God bless.